All right, man. Appreciate everybody getting a chance to look at this. So, as of today, it is April 25th, 2019. I am in Central Ohio, Columbus, Ohio. My name is Jeremy, and Jeremy Peter. And I don't have a lot of time to bring you this video. I apologize. Right now, I'm on YouTube and Patreon. I appreciate everybody checking me out on the different platforms. What I'm creating here is a little bit different than what I've done in the past as a public speaker. I'm actually going to use these platforms to go ahead and fund some of the different events that go on nationally, fund my presence there, and talking to different people, interviewing them, whether they're in the intelligence community or military, or if they're an activist. So right now, I just want to bring three things, elaborate as much as I can. We've had white and black vans following us around. By we, I mean the people that organized that last Second Amendment event in Columbus, Ohio. I mean my girlfriend. I mean her cousin. I mean the other organizers that are 2 hours north of me, organizers that are 2 hours west of me. So whoever this is that is paying for this surveillance on all of us, they're using box trucks, they're using vans, white vans, black vans. They have the intelligence apparatus that can find all of us, that has an interest in finding all of us, everybody who organized that event apparently. And because they have that they're able to finance finding all of our addresses. Our cell phones have been messed with. All of our cell phones have been messed with. All of our cell phones have been messed with. Stuff, but it's been going on. Says your connection is unstable. Please wait. Okay. We've been hearing this from everybody. It's been happening to us. Now we have these vehicles following us. So there's actually two audiences that I want to address. I want to address the people that are following us and the people that have hired them. And then I want to address the people that are being followed. I want to address the Patriots. So for the people that are pulling the strings and financing this and have an intelligence apparatus that's like me and my friends, we can't find a group of you on Facebook and then find your addresses and then start messing with your cell phones and follow you around. That takes a lot of money. That takes infrastructure that is firmly in place to be able to do that. So whoever you are, I would say that it's easy to guess that you are government. Going to default that you are either government directly or you are, this is also very likely, foreign nationals that are hired by this government, messing with our phones, things like this. First of all, we're not your enemy if you're somebody that wants to be free. If you're somebody that understands liberty, and sees that we are seriously just, there's nothing special about us. We're not warlords. We're not drug lords. We're not any of those people. We're moms and dads. And whatever your intentions are, what your motives are, stop it. Quit messing with normal people. We're not whoever it is you've been led to believe we are. The fact is we're, most of us are desperate people trying to find a foothold to freedom in our nation as we watch it being taken away. So that's for the people that are pulling the strings and doing the actual following them, who is very menacing looking. So this is, whoever you are, whatever, your motives are, into the analysts that are hired to follow my page, what's happening here. You're losing your nation. Stop being a part of it. Get off of our backs. Now, I also want to say that we don't scare that easy. We get it. We live in a messed up time where you're going to follow us, where you're paid to follow us around. And I'm looking up here and I'm looking down there because I'm on multiple streams right now. But these are traitorous acts. And if you're a foreign agent that doesn't care about the United States, understand you're being used as a tool to harm all of us. And I'm just a common man telling you this. You know, this isn't a big mystery. So to the people that are being followed and to the patriots that are hearing about a lot of us being followed, a lot of the organizers or patriots or speakers or whatever, this is normal. It's just another sign that lets you know you lost your nation. You know, you lost your nation. And if that weren't the case, you would be you would have a completely different conversation happening right now. But the only reason to follow Americans around and mess with their phones and all of this is because of what we're saying and what we're doing. And these people are opposite that agenda. Well, think about, you know, what it is that we're doing. We're trying to fight for everybody's kids, everybody's grandkids. You know, we're trying to fight for ourselves, our friends, our families, the people we love. You know, we're no more than trying to restore what's ours by birthright. This isn't a criminal act of any kind, and you can't make us be criminal between us. And if we're willing to recognize protected classes, then you are giving recognition to the loss of your nation. That's not what this place is. It's not what it's meant to be. You want me to set this up here?
Are you able to?
I think so. And then if you want to get on the laptop and see, oh, that's right at me. So we're losing this nation. Stand with us. It affects everybody. It obviously affects everybody. So goes the United States. So goes the rest of the world. And that's for better or worse. It's been going worse because we've had lunatics in charge. You know, part of finding our foothold of freedom is being motivated by putting this hand back into putting our land back into our hands, putting it in the hands of the common people. Know that, you know, these are your lands and they're worth standing for. They're more than worth restoring. So as far as our surveillance state goes, it's active and it's happening right now, and it's happening to common people, you know. So that's real. The the contract beating of a 69-year-old man, Patriot, Larry, who was arrested by the FBI on state charges that are really, really weak, that have nothing to do with what he was doing. Well, were child rapists to then get killed. Jeffrey Dahmer, everybody was happy when Jeffrey Dahmer was... it's reconnecting again.
Same issues here. I'm on the JRD account and it's allowing me to go live.
Then it isn't able to use the hotspot from my phone.
Yeah,
So,
I wasn't connected.
Okay. So the I'm sorry, the connection is bad. American prisons were never meant to be a place where you go there to get beat or killed. And we may think that there's some form of poetic justice when Jeffrey Dahmer gets killed in his prison cell. But what that means is that essentially means, and that's what's happened. That was a contracted beating of a man decided to stand to prevent people from coming in our border. So we need to know that's not by accident, that you can easily default to understanding and believing that was the contractual obligation of thugs that work in. We don't stand together. We hang separately. The third thing I want to bring up before I go is the forced vaccinations in California. California is the perfect example as to why we should have an electoral college, and so is Oregon. A very small percentage of people in big cities have all of the authority and all of the say in the votes. And so they vote on behalf of the farmers and everyone else. That's exactly what's happening. If you don't have say over your own body, you have nothing. You have nothing. If you don't have say over the safety and the health and the protection of your children, you have nothing. And a forced vaccination is a written permission slip to anybody who wants to force you into doing anything that has power. Because if you don't have say over your own body, you have nothing. You have a guise of freedom, and that's it. And that's at best. So California, it was coming to a head. Now we're seeing it, and we're seeing its equal and opposite reaction. And this would be a time to not give the Californians a hard time, but to stand with the ones that are standing.
I'm so sorry. Thank you, guys.
I appreciate it, man. I'm on Patreon, YouTube, Facebook, a number of places you guys can find me and check me out. The Patreon platform is what I'm going to use to start my own podcast. I'll use the funding from that. We also have funding for events that people want me to go to, stuff like that. I've already got a GoPro camera that we can use. So we're kind of set up already. I'm working on getting a better computer right now. So we're working on stuff, and then I'm going to use Patreon for the rest of it because we just pay for most of this out of our pockets anyway. But if people can help and they're into, the work that I'm doing in Columbus, that's a way that they can do it. The forced vaccinations, the contract beating of a 69-year-old veteran, and a surveillance state at the very least. This is just a personal headline for today. That's all that this is. This is what I see happening in my world and happening in your world, and part of what is happening in my world. To the folks that are following us around, following our family members around, listen, you were expected. That's part of what happens if you decide to speak. And you were no surprise. I know that you're watching. I know that the analysts have been assigned to my page, my different social media platform pages. And since you're watching this and it's your job to report the things that you believe are pertinent to the detectives and the investigators, tell all of them, I am not their enemy. I am their countryman. That's it. It doesn't matter if they have a badge. They swore an oath to the Constitution that I defend freely. I've always failed to see where a problem is between us. And it wasn't one that I created. It was policy, systemic policies that you supported behind a badge. It doesn't make you a bad guy. You've been just as subverted as everybody else, but when it comes down to it, the brass tacks are that we're our countrymen and women. We're all we've got. And we're the only ones that can get this place back to good. There's no one coming. And every time you use your badge as a source of influence or power to take away one person's rights in one moment, you've done it to yourself and you've done it to everyone you love. It's going to take strength to stand with the rest of us. They've tried to separate us by class. And when you're the first one to see the discrepancy in our law system and how it makes a mockery of itself, I know it's hard for you to stand with us because we're subjected to things that you're not. But it doesn't make us bad people, and it doesn't make you bad people. It just makes us separated. That's it. Are paid an annual salary with part of their workload as having people like me under surveillance. It's a conversation that needs to happen between detectives. It's a conversation that needs to happen between analysts. How long are we going to watch our own people and report on our own people until our conscience forces us to go home and commit suicide for being a bad person? We've all been driven by fear at different points. But I think that all of us have seen enough to know that we're not each other's enemies. So if I get a chance, I'll speak more on these things later. You are living in a nation that saw the